Yeah. Hello everyone. Yeah, done with your assignments, guys? Okay. So assignment was to create login page, sign up page, and home page is ready already, and implement routing, right? Implement routing. So how many of you done all these things? Can I know on the chat? Login page is nothing but login component, sign up component, home component, and we have to implement the routing part. So let me know on the chat how many of you done. Still in progress. Almost from last week, I am saying, right? Same thing. And it just take 1 hour, not less than 1 hour. Okay. Start doing, guys. Start doing now in this session. The people who are done, they can show their output. Okay, how much you have done, show that much. Okay, now this is how your project sessions will be. You have to do the work, okay? It will not be only one side, like I will be teaching and you will be just listening. It won't be like that. You have to do with me. So already we know, right, how to create login page, sign up page, home page is anyways ready, and we have to implement routing part as well. So now here I'm just add two folders here inside the SRC, add two folders. One is like components and one more is like pages. So inside the components folder, we will add all our components. Inside the pages folder, we will add those components which will represent a page, For example, let's assume that you are building home page, or let's assume that you are building home component. Now, home component represents home page. So what we will do is home component we will create under page folder. But inside the home component, you might use lot other components, like you might use nav component, you might use footer component, and you might use some other components here. So all these components we will create in the component folder. But home component we will create in the page folder, because home component is going to represent one home page. So this is how your folder structure will be. So to design home page, whatever components are required, those all we will create in components folder. But home component is going to represent one home page. So that home component we will create in the pages folder. So what I will do under this pages, here I want to create one component, home component. So under pages, I will create one subfolder called home. Under pages, I will create one more subfolder called products. Under pages, I will create one more subfolder called login. Under pages, I will create one more subfolder called sign up. So all the four folders I have created here. Inside the components, I will create subfolder called nav. I will create subfolder called footer. I will create here subfolder called products. Product, not products, or product something. So like this, right now I have created all the empty folders. So as we progress in our application, we will try to create folders. So right now I have just predicted some folders and I have created. So in pages, whatever folders we have created or whatever components we will create, all those are going to represent a specific page. Under components, whatever components we will create, that will be the part of all these pages. Now in home, I will just add here home.jsx. Now here I am creating home component. So here we have a home component. Now to get this shortcuts, what you have to do is go to your extensions and just search for ES7 plus React this part. You can search for this extension. ES7 plus React slash Redux slash React native snippet. Okay, I will just add this screenshot. You can search for this snippet in your extension and install that snippet. Install that snippet. Now, once you install this extension, then you can use shortcuts to create your component. I want to create a component, just say React functional component, and you have to add here E and click on enter. It will give you the structure of a functional component. No need to type function, your component name, all that. It will give you the basic structure. What is the shortcut for that? R React functional component E. E means export. Click on enter. It will create functional component with export. Like this, in the login folder also, I want to create login.jsx. Now here also I want to create login component, same again, React functional component with export. In the same way, you can go with sign up. Here also I can create one folder, signup.jsx. Here we got sign up component. Home, login, sign up. Home, login, sign up. Now in home, right now I am adding only H2 home component. In login, I am just adding here login component. Sign up, I'm adding here sign up component. Now three components are ready. Now I want to implement routing, but before that I require navbar also. So what I will do, I will design one navbar. So where we have to design the navbar, we can design the navbar inside the components folder. So here I am creating nav.jsx. Now create your component. And now here we have to design navbar. Right now I am going with very basic navbar. Here I am using div. something like some H2 or H1. I will say e-commerce app. One more div I will take. And here simply I will add some anchor tag. For example, home, login, sign up. So instead of login, I can use sign in also. And here sign up. Slash sign in slash sign up. So whenever I click on home, my browser path should change to slash. Whenever I click on sign in, my browser path should change to slash sign in. Whenever I click on sign up, my browser path should change to slash sign up. Now here you have to add styles. To add styles, I am creating a separate CSS file, nav.css. Now that CSS file, I will link here, import dot slash nav.css. Now whatever styles you want to add, you can add. So I'm just making this as a nav container. So here I will select that nav container dot nav container. Now here background color, I'm adding black color. Right now I will add white. Height something like 73 pixel. So let's see how navbar looks like. So for that we have to go to the app. Now remove all this existing code. Here import your nav component and just render that nav component. Now if I go back, I got here e-commerce something's home sign in sign up. So now let me remove all these styles as well. So for that I have to go to the app.css, remove all this. Index.css. Here I can remove all these styles. I got something like this now. Now index.css, it's like a global CSS file. If you want to apply any styles which are common for your application or which you want to keep common for all your components, those you can add in this index.css file. So here right now what I will do, I will select all the elements and by default I will say all the elements margin should be 0 and even if they have any padding that also I want 0. So if I go, I got like this. Now here we have some sections for displaying heading and displaying all the links. So for this links, I want to add styles. So I will just add here a class name like all the links, I will say. Now here dot links. In that whatever anchor tag I have, all those colors I want white. Margin right, I want 50 pixel. Text decoration should be none. And if you want to increase font size, I will just try to add 17 pixel and let me see how it looks. So it looks like this. Maybe if I go with 21 pixel, it looks like this. 19 pixel, it looks like this. Right now, this title and this anchor tags are one after another. I want one beside another. So what we can do is we can create links and we can create here one title. So this title class I will assign to this h1 div. And this nav bar I will make display flex. Justify content center, align items center. And for titles, I will add width. Here we don't require, I think, justify content and align items. I will just comment this. I will remove this part because I don't require. For title, I will add 40%. And for this, I will add width 60% so that it looks like this. Now I want this content exactly in the center, this content exactly here in the center or right side. So what we can do, we can add display flex here as well. Justify content center, align items center. The moment I apply these three properties to my title div, now my e-commerce will be in the center. Same thing I want this also. So I can just copy and paste here. But here align items center I will not give, only display flex, justify content center I will say. Or maybe align items we will say instead of justify content. Now we got here. So if you want this exactly in the right side, then we can go with justify content and we can say that flex end we got here. So we got home, we got sign in, we got sign up. Right now, if I click on sign in, my browser root path is changing to sign in. If I click on sign up, it is changing to sign up. If I click on home, it is like only slash. Now what we want to do is, if I click on sign in, I want to display here sign in component. If I click on sign up, I want to display sign up component. If I click on home, then I want to display here home component. So can you tell me which concept I have to implement to get this kind of functionality? Like if I click on home component should come. If I click on sign in component should come. If I click on sign up component should come here.
Routing concept.
Yeah, so we have to implement routing. To implement routing, first of all, we have to install that React router DOM library. So go to the terminal and here simply install npm install. Okay, npm install React router DOM. So once that package got installed, then what is the next step we have to do? What is the next
Type the
step?
application component as the browser routes.
Where we have to write?
Mm, our main component.
Main component means
App.pc.
Yeah, where I will find that app component rendering part, where you are rendering app component, where you will find that
main.jsx.
Inside the main.js.
go to the main.jsx, remove this strict mode. We don't want strict mode. Now here we have to import something from React router DOM. What is that? Browser router. Okay. In your React 18, what this React DOM people did, instead of directly using the render function, they are creating the root element of your HTML element using React DOM dot create root. So once that root element is created, on that they are calling the render. So you can write this in 2 steps like this. So now React DOM from React 18, they have started creating React DOM dot create root element. So what root element in which we want our React elements should be placed. That element we have to provide here as a first argument. So we want this in index.js. If you go to that index.js, sorry, index.html, here we want. In this div, we want all our user interface should be added. So this div reference we have to pass here. Document dot get element by ID of root. Now it will return you that reference. Now on that reference, for example, here I will say root element. Now on this root element, you have to call render. And inside this render, you can render your app component. So this is what changes they have done in React 18. And this changes is done at React DOM level, React DOM level. And to access this create root, simply we have to add /client while importing React DOM. If you don't add this line, it will just throw you the warning that you will not be able to use React 18. Still, you will be using React 17 only. So these are the 2 extra lines what you have to do in main.jsx. So you have to create first root element. Then that once that root element is created, then on that root element, you have to call render function. And on that, in that render function, you have to pass your app component as a first argument. Now, if you go back here, still there is no change here. So you can do like this in one line. Here itself, you can call dot render, or else you can do like this in the 2 lines. Now, if you want to implement React routing, first you have to import your browser router. And now you have to wrap your app component inside the browser router. Now, once you have done with this, then you have to create routing files, right? You have to create routing. So till now, what we have done, we have implemented routing in our app.jsx. Now, I don't want to implement routing in my app.jsx. So I want to create a separate file called, or first in SRC, I will create one separate folder called routing. Inside that routing, I will create one file called routes.jsx, or you can create JS file also. Inside this, I want to implement routing. In this, you can implement routing. So here instead of JS, let's go with JSX only. So here I am creating one component. Here I will import something from React router DOM. So instead of implementing that routing code in app.jsx, we are just implementing it in a separate component. Apart from that, nothing. Now from React router DOM, I want routes. I want route. Now here instead of taking div, directly we can take route. And then in routes, we can implement route. Now route will take path and it will take element. Now here I will import home component. We have to import login component. Here pages. Under that we have login. Then we have to import sign up from pages slash sign up slash sign up. Now here, whenever the path is slash, we have to render home component. Like this, I have to define the route for my sign up and for sign in as well. So whenever it is sign in, we have to render login component. Whenever it is a sign up, you have to render sign up component. So now here we got this routes. Now what we can do, this routes component. Okay, here I will just say instead of routes, because already here we have routes, right? Again, it might give the issue. So let me do one thing. Let me create routing.jsx and let me add component and let me copy this code and place here so that we will not have any kind of confusion. And I can copy all this import statement from here and I can place here. And this file, I will delete it. So we have a routing component in which we have implemented our routing part. Now this we can render in app.jsx. So import routing here. So right now here I will render routing component. Routing component. Now let's try. See here it's a login component because the path is sign in. If I click on home, I got home component. If I click on sign up, I got sign up component. Sign in, home, and sign up. So here your routing successfully implemented. So initially when we were learning React, what we did, we implemented that routing in app.jsx only. So it became very clumsy in app.jsx. Now instead of implementing in app.jsx, now what we are doing, we are creating a separate component called routing. In that we are just implementing routing logic. Apart from that, nothing. And this component again we are rendering in app.jsx. just to keep things simple and separate. Now, whenever you want to do any changes in the routing, simply you have to go to the routing.jsx file and you have to do routing changes here. So now this file contains only the configuration of routing. Apart from that, we don't add any other logic. Now app component will be considered as your parent component. So this is what I was expecting from you. Here I was expecting a proper home page, proper sign up page, proper sign in page. Now, how many of you completed this task? Can you guys share your screens? How much you have done? Show me that much.
I
One by
have completed. Can I share my screen?
yeah, you can share.
Uh, can you allow to share, sir? Actually, unable to share.
1 minute. Yeah, now you can share. Okay, one by one, guys. Show your output. How much you have done? Show that much. So from tomorrow, everybody try to join from laptops only. Whenever I ask you to share the screen, you have to share and you have to show how much you have done.
Is my screen visible?
Yeah, nice. Oh, login, sign up.
Yeah,
Okay,
we have to say like a login and the sign up page.
if you click on sign up, okay. Now here you have provided that login link at the bottom also. Is it working that part
Yes,
also?
sir. It's working.
Nice.
And sign up.
Yeah, you developed homepage also, right? Just add that homepage as well here.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Include home component. Like this, slowly, we will add all the things. Yeah, nice. And try to add more fields in sign up. Okay.
Okay, sir.
So like you should be able to ask user to select his gender, phone number, right? Like this, try to add more fields in the sign up.
Sure, sir.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, you can stop sharing. Yeah, anybody else guys wants to share screen and show how much you have done. See, I'm not asking show me entire output. I just want to check how much you have done. Nikita, Suresh, Kavita, Anil, Swapnil, Snehal, Harish. So from tomorrow, guys, join from
Right.
laptop only. And whenever I ask you to share, you have to share. Okay.
Shall I share?
Yeah, you can share. It's not yet visible. Yeah.
Still working on speed style.
Okay. Login, sign up. Okay. Nice. So you have to work little bit more on your UI part. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, just go to your yeah, fine. Just do that whenever next time I will tell you what changes you have to do. Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. Anybody else, guys, want to share? Nikita, you want to share? Suresh, Kavita, Anil, Swapnil, Snehal. Okay, guys, from tomorrow, I want you guys to start working on this project. Okay. So things will go like this only. See, now I have developed in front of you everything. Now here I did not explain anything to you. I did not explain any routing because already we know. I just asked what I have to do. You told that you have to wrap your app component in the browser router. So I just went to the main.jsx. I have done it. So the point is here, now I won't explain what is routing, how to implement routing. Here we will implement routing. Now what we have to do? You will say we have to implement routing. We will directly implement it. Okay. So in tomorrow's session, what we will do? We will implement Redux and we will implement and Redux and we will keep in our application. So for example, today is the day one. So in the day one, what we have done, we have created three components, or I can say here, 3 pages and 4 components. Okay, anyways, these 3 pages are the part of this 4 components only. So we have basically developed nav component, home component, login component, and sign up component. And then we have implemented routing with these components. Now in day two,
Sir, your screen is not visible.
but it's not visible. 1 minute. Yeah. So just I was typing in the paint file. So in day one, what we have done, we have created 3 pages and 4 components. 3 pages means pages are just a part of components. So now home, login, sign up. And we have implemented routing with these components. This is what we have done. Now, what will be your assignment from this day one? Now you have to create proper home page, login page, and sign up page, and you have to implement this routing. Now everybody will have their own design, okay? So you will create your own nav bar. Some people will create their own home page in different way. Some people will create login page in different way and sign up page in different way. And if you don't get idea how to create login and sign up page, just do simply one thing, go to the Google, search for login page template or login page template. If you search and go to this images tab, you will get here lot of designs. Now, whichever design you like, pick that design and try to design accordingly. Or if you want to add your own innovative thoughts, innovative designs, you can do that. Okay, just use your CSS skills or you can use Bootstrap skills and you can start designing your pages. So in tomorrow's session, what we are going to do means we will first implement Redux and we will keep in our application. So let's implement Redux. Once we implement Redux, then we will work on login page. So we will check, like we will see how to access the data from the login page. So whenever you enter username and password, if you click on login, then I want to access that data from that text boxes. So that data we have to send to our server. So, but before we send that data to server, first of all, we should be able to access that data from the login page. Plus, we have to do validation also. So we have to, before sending the data to our server, we have to validate. So that logic we will try to write. So let's see whether we will be able to complete this part in next session or not. So your assignment will be, I want you have to design proper nav bar, home page, login page, sign up page, and implement routing. So by tomorrow, you should be able to complete that part, guys. So whenever you join the session, the first part is, I will explain few things for few minutes. Then you have to share your screen and you have to show how much you guys have done. Everybody has to show. So one person takes 2 minutes, fatafat within 2 minutes, you have to show, okay, I have done this one. This is how I have implemented it, like that. Got it? Yeah. Install this extension, everybody. Okay. So that you can use shortcuts to create your components. Okay. And before you come to tomorrow's session, just revise that Redux part and come. Okay. Revise the Redux concept and come to the session. So that tomorrow when I implement Redux, you should not be in the confusion state. You should be able to you should be able to get all these steps, whatever I am doing. Just revise the Redux concept and come to the next session. That is tomorrow. So this Saturday we will have session, guys. Okay. So this Saturday we have the session at same time. Yeah. So that's all, guys. Today I just want to give time for you to finish this day one assignment. Now in tomorrow I will do this. Then again you have to work on this part as well. Okay. Yeah. If you have any doubts, you guys can ask. In case if you don't have any doubts, yeah, you guys can drop and just start working on it, guys. If you guys are employee, then at least take out 1 hour or 2 hours of time at night or morning, whenever you want, and try to finish this project or finish all your tasks. At the end of our sessions, you should have a project in your hand, which you can mention, you can mention in your resume. That is what our target is all about. At least you will understand how React concepts will be used in the implementation part. So if you do, then only you will learn. If you just watch, then you will not be able to learn. Okay. So just try, finish it at any cost, this first assignment, and come to tomorrow's session.